Welcome to Kenny Quest First Ride, where I test ride motorcycles I've never ridden before, in the hopes that I find the perfect motorcycle for me. This time, I am riding a 2023 Softail Breakout 117. All reactions are authentic and based on my past experience. I'm a newer rider. I ride a 2021 Harley Davidson Iron 883 Sportster with a Stage 1 upgrade, and a vintage 1996 Harley Davidson Heritage Softail Special that I fixed up and made road ready. Links to those playlists in the description below. Let's ride. All right, Breakout 117, baby. With a big fat rear 240 tire and all of the chrome. Look at that. It does have the preload adjust exposed. You don't have to worry about getting underneath there with the spanner wrench. Your 2-up seat, and of course it's got the attachment so you can add the Harley brackets. So if you want to do a backrest pad, that's not a big deal. And as far as your controls, you know, with this readout and display, you control everything through this button right here. And you got your mileage, and you just press that button again, you get your trip A, trip B, your range, which is how much is left in the gas tank until you have to refill, your clock, and then your RPM display would be right there. There's also a fuel gauge right there, and these are all your alerts. Like right now it's in neutral, ABS is flashing, it's equipped with ABS, and the engine is off, that's why that button's there. Otherwise you have your cruise control, left indicator, right indicator, hazard, past the flash and high beam is right there, and your horn. Pretty much set up like all of the Harley Davidson Softails. Here we go. Woo! Gods of Thunder. All right, 117 now. How am I feeling on this bike? I'm in 4th gear. Looks like the gear ratio, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd is shorter than the Fat Boy. And this is a bike I'm going to compare it to because I just got off the Fat Boy. It's got a rear tire that's very similar to the Fat 240mm tire, but this one's got a skinny front tire. But I felt that the gearing was longer on the Fat Boy. Now, one thing I'm noticing here is my right leg. If you can see that, the heavy breather, it's right on my upper shin. It's there. I can't get around it. I gotta deal with it. I gotta move my left part of my right foot on the brake pedal to kind of circumnavigate it, but my shin is still resting comfortably. Let's check out a turn with the big fat tire. Not bad. That skinny front tire is a little bit different feeling than the Fat Boy, which is a fatter front tire. But just move your hips and you get into that corner. Don't be concerned about the fat tire and turning. Just ride a motorcycle like you're supposed to with your full body. Beach bars are nice. I mean, I got a very comfortable elbow bend on each arm. The wind, though, is different on the Breakout. Probably because it doesn't have as big a seal as the Fat Boy, so I'm getting some more wind. But you know, I'm probably an hour later in the day, maybe the wind's picking up a little bit, so I'm not being scientific. I'm just telling you how I feel. The digital gauge. So it's got the handlebar top mount gauge right here. It's not as large as what you would find on the Fat Boy or the Heritage, but it's something you'd find identical on the Softail Standard and the Lowrider ST and the Street Bob. But yeah, no problem with turning. Now that we have some shade, I'm looking, you know, it's about a little bit more visible. But when you have direct sunlight, because of the size, it's not that big, it's diminutive. It's not as clear to read as a gauge. That'd be on your tank or on a touring model right in front of you. But very nimble. I definitely feel it's a lot more nimble than the Fat Boy. That skinnier front tire does that. Now, as far as body position, I am kind of in a slight C shape, if you will, because of the forward controls. But the forward controls in this stance, much badass points. You get the badass points. You feel bad. With the Fat Boy, you get the floorboards, and you don't get this stance because your feet and the way your legs are bent are not as far forward with the Fat Boy. But on the Breakout, they are. And I like forward controls. I think that in a chopper situation, the Dyna Y Glide, something like this, very comfortable to cruise with forward controls. Now, like the Fat Boy, the tank, it's got the Fat Boy tank. And but what's different about this is I could hug with my inner thighs the Fat Boy tank, but with the Breakout, because of the heavy breather, I can't bring in, without laboring a little bit, my right thigh to use that to go into the turns. But when you're on this bike, you kind of want to push down and then move in and out, if that makes any sense. So it's definitely a sporty feel to it, sporty cruiser feel. I'm gonna go over this pothole here. Not bad, not bad. That was a pretty serious hole. I could feel that I went over a hole, but it didn't affect me at all. The bike took it and didn't transfer it into me, which I like. You drop a gear here, rev it out a little bit. The Breakout, here's another one. Oh, that was easy. Didn't feel anything there. The Breakout does come with cruise control, and it's priced very similar to the Fat Boy. It's priced very similar to the Heritage. The grips, they went with the thin, kind of hard foam grips. Nothing to write home about. They're not that large of a diameter. The clutch, I think it's set up similar to the Fat Boy as far as distance, maybe slightly farther out, but definitely a cruising style of bike. Now, one thing that I haven't noticed yet, and I'm going to try as we get one more opportunity to open the can of beans, is that 117 noticeable over the 114? So far, nope. Yep. So I'm able to keep on point in the turn. Just, you know, move your head, swing your head around, look at where you want to go, and the bike will follow. Good downshifting. Not jerky. It's good. There we go. Rev limiter. Yeah, right at 60 there. 65, hit that rev limiter. Hit on 70 on the Fat Boy. It sounds throatier though. It does sound throatier than the 114. But that could be a product of the exhaust, I don't know. But in Florida, it's hot. Having the wind is welcome. Now the way it's set up, it probably has the ability to put one of those clear windshields on, similar to how a Dyna had the clamp and a quick detach. So I would expect that to be the case. But throw a windshield on and a swing arm bag, you're good to go for the day. Maybe a Sissy bar, attach your backpack to. It's 2-up capable, so you can throw a Backrest Sissy bar pad on there. Keep in mind those are 3 parts. You got your backrest, you got your bar, and you got your attachment brackets. And because of that heavy breather, I just missed the brake. The foot pad for the rear brake. So I would change out that heavy breather to a different high flow intake, which you can pick any brand you want, or stick with the Harley stuff. Harley makes other ones. Low speed maneuvers, very nice. Yeah, very easy on the low speed maneuvers. Very maneuverable. All right. And we found neutral right away. That's good. I like that. Kickstand. It's short. It's a short kickstand, but effective. All right, so let me give you my closing thoughts on the 2023 Breakout with the 117. Who do I recommend this bike for? Well, this bike is hugely popular in Europe. And it's been in continuous production in Europe. In the States, they stopped it for a couple years and reintroduced it this year back with the 117. It's definitely what I would call a muscle cruiser. That wheel is very, very cool. And that's what it kind of gives you the vibe is machismo, badass points.
Bad boy club, yeah.
And it performs adequately. However, I don't think it outperforms the Fat Boy. And for me, I would go ahead and choose the Fat Boy over the Breakout and put the Stage 3 kit in the Fat Boy to get me a 122 if I was concerned about having more horsepower. As far as the ride, like most Softails, it was great. Power delivery was there, and just some of the idiosyncrasies of this particular model allows me to give it a neutral rating. All right, guys, thanks for coming along. We'll see you on the next one.
How well will the Breakout 117 stack up against the rest of this year's Harley Davidson lineup? I don't know yet. I still have a few more first ride videos to share with you, including the Street Glide CVO, Heritage, Road King Special, and more. So subscribe and hit that bell to be notified on my next one. Then when I've dropped them all, I'm going to do a recap video and you'll find out which Harley model I'm picking as the best one of 2023. Thanks for watching this one, and if you want to see my first ride video of the Fat Boy 114, be sure to click the box, and I'll see you there.
Let's get it. Rev limiter. So second gear goes to 70. Haha. If you look up Cruiser, this is the quintessential cruiser from Harley Davidson. It's one of the most iconic bikes.